Do you want to add more courage to your life and confidence? Well, today I'm going to talk through how you can start adding more courage and therefore confidence into your life. And if you stay until the end, I have an extra point for you then. Now, I spoke about fear in a recent episode, and the fact that a point I'm always keen to express is everyone has fear. Like, nobody's exempt. Now, there are people who fear less because they do things to move through the fears. Yeah, I wanted to talk more about courage because often we think courage is this big thing we've got to do. Like we've got to do a skydive or a bungee jump or walk on fire. And I haven't bungee jumped, but I've done the other two things. Or we have to speak publicly in front of thousands and thousands of people to have courage. No, courage can be tiny, tiny bits of work. And for me recently, I've started to particularly notice it and forget about all the times I've had courage in my life. Sometimes courage in my life may have just been something like opening up an email I was scared of. As silly as that sounds, like courage for me is when you face something you're scared of and you do it anyway. Sometimes opening up my emails when I may have been expecting something not so great back when I had to send out some comments or reports or something like that. Courage could be talking to someone that you're nervous about talking to. Courage can be just even saying one thing in a meeting when you're terrified. It could be putting your hand up. Courage is just anything that gives you nerves or fear and you do it. You move through it. And when you do that, you get more confidence. Think about it. Have there been times when you push yourself slightly out of that comfort zone, doing something that you were a little bit fearful of, and therefore it gained you confidence? Now, it certainly has to me, and that's what I wanted to share, because acting with more courage is going to build your confidence. And like I say, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the feeling of fear, but doing it anyway. And that's something you do again and again and again to build more of it. Now, you might be thinking, well, it's easier said than done to do something you're scared of. Yeah, obviously. I've heard people say that, easier said than done. Yeah, that's life. Like, you can't just sit there and expect things to change if you don't do anything about it. It's as simple as that. Now, there's obviously deep phobias and things like that people have. We're not talking about that. But obviously, if you've got a deep phobia about something that's a genuine case, that's when you would seek maybe a professional to help you with that one. I want to talk about how small a thing courage can be today. Like, you may be thinking, oh, I can't do this small thing. I'm never going to be able to do that massive thing. Maybe you just need to break the smaller thing even into a smaller thing. And actually facing your fear is going to build more courage. So, for example, you're scared of public speaking in front of a whole room of 50 people. Maybe you just need to speak in front of 5 people. Maybe it's that small. Maybe you want the courage to go and speak to that person you like. Maybe just say hello or good morning, which obviously is you need a bit more than that, but it's a starting point. You can start off. I remember I've been caught so many times in my head, like I need to say this, I need to say that. Sometimes you just got to go and say hello to someone. It doesn't mean you necessarily like him in that romantic way, although it can do, or it could be just someone who you admire, as like there's someone who's a bit of a role model for you or someone you admire. You can just be going up and saying hello and then recognizing that. Now, how is it helping you, holding yourself back and not acting with courage, but acting in a place of fear? Because fear will ruin your life if you let yourself live in it. Like I say, fear is always going to come up, but if you allow your life's too short to allow fear to run and dictate your whole entire show. You need to start acting with courage if you want a better quality of life. And when I started to learn that there's never going to be a point where I'm not going to have to use courage in life, that's when life got better. Because I realized there's always going to be fears, there's always going to be opportunities for growth in my life. Yes, when I move through one fear, that becomes a bit easier the next time, but there's always things showing up. Now, obviously, when you keep being courageous, going and again, there's going to be very little to you at one point. Yeah, you can have But there could be, you know, that person could still have difficult relationships and have the courage to talk to someone in a difficult conversation. There is always going to be acts of courage needed in your life. Yeah, if you keep ducking out from it, it's not going to improve it. So I wanted to go through a few points really to really start embedding more courage into you. And therefore, with more courage leads more confidence. Now, I want to say about this as well, that often what I've done in the past, and I know many people do this, we base confidence on the results. So we do something courageous and maybe we don't get the result we want. Your confidence should be based on the effort and doing what you said you're going to do, even if you're scared. So start base, and that's your trust. Confidence is a trust in yourself. If you say what you're going to do, even if you're scared, allow that to use for your confidence, because you're in complete control of that, not necessarily the outcome. If you get a result, yes, pat yourself on the back and be happy as well. So let's go through the tips this time. So the first one is do something small. Now, you don't have to do something every single day, but, you know, a couple of times a week, once a week at least. Just do something courageous that's a little bit out of the comfort zone for you. Why did I not say every day? This is a big realization I've had, and it's not something I've heard of anyone else say, although I'm sure someone has said it out there. Obviously, with billions of people in the world, I'm sure it has been said. When you're constantly pushing out of your comfort zone and constantly having to be courageous every single day, it actually can get quite exhausting, because you get into a bit of a flight or fright response. You get the adrenaline rushing through your body when it gets stressful, like little bits of cortisol. And if you've got that going on all the time, then it's going to be exhausting. You know, now and then is good because it's going to allow you to really grow. So just do something small, even just once a week, twice a week. Maybe you say good morning to someone in a shop. Maybe you smile at someone walking down the street. Choose what it is for you, just something small. And the second thing, as I always say, and I'm going to keep saying it, is praise yourself, because that's going to significantly speed up your, well, boost your courage even more. Because when you praise yourself, you get feel-good chemicals in the body, you get dopamine in the body, like you would if someone else praised you. Who's in control of praising you? Not necessarily, well, you are, but it's not necessarily in your control for people to praise you all the time. So therefore, if you start praising yourself, that's going to create more dopamine, and your nervous system will want to do more courageous acts. And then the third one is just hang out with more courageous people. If you're hanging out with people who are constantly never doing anything and coming out of their comfort zone, and they got the standards day to day, well, as human beings, we adapt to our environment. So it's unlikely you're going to get them up, you're going to develop your courage if they're not. Fortunately, I've had situations when people have done like courageous things now and then. It's a bit like at the theme park, for example. When I was younger, I was terrified of the rides, right? I probably would still be a little bit scared. And that's an act of courage, going on a ride at a theme park sometimes, facing your fear. And I went on one with my dad because I would feel, and then my little sister was going on it as well. And I got to a point, I was like, right, I better go on it as well, even though I'm terrified. I didn't want to. But because I had this environment of people going on it, I went on it. I went on the scary ride. I was courageous. If my dad and my sister are like, nah, I don't want to go on that, like, I wouldn't either. That's just one small example. If you've got a bunch of people who want to be courageous all the time, then it's more likely to push you as well. And it only takes one person sometimes to be courageous. I remember I went on a stag do, and we were gorge walking, and we did this jump, and like no one wanted to do it. And I'm crazy, but I jumped. It wasn't like a massive, huge cliff we're jumping off, but it was a little bit of a distance, and I jumped off. And then after that, 2, 3, 4 people jumped off. Now, yes, there was 1 or 2 who just couldn't do it, including the stag. But people start jumping in because you've got people around you being courageous. So this is a really, really important one. Try and hang out with courageous people. When I say courageous in the area you want to go in. If you want to become more courageous in public speaking, go to something like Toastmasters, where people are getting out of their comfort zone and being courageous and speaking up. Like, learn from people who are doing it as well. So I've got a final point for you. And just before I get onto that, I want to say thank you for listening today. And if you've appreciated today, I'd highly appreciate a rating and review on iTunes so we can reach more people together. So my final point is you have been courageous. You probably just have forgotten about it. We remember the negative things. We don't train ourselves enough for the positive things because our brain has that kind of negative bias about us. Oh, what about that time I messed up that? What about that time I messed up that? I want you for every single day for a week, you're going to list down 5 times you were courageous. And each day you can't have the same thing as the day before. So you're just going to think of a minimum of 5 things when you were courageous. Maybe it's as crazy as going to school when you were younger. Maybe it was having as crazy as it was. If you're fortunate enough to walk in the wild, maybe it's learning to walk. And yeah, like even if that's an example you could use as well. Even though you may have been a bit nervous, although I guess obviously at that age, not as much, but yeah, you had the courage to go and learn to walk, or maybe it's learning to drive your car, whatever it was. Just think of 5 things every single day where it required acts of courage. And that's going to retrain your memory that you have courage within you. Okay, so that's what I got for you today. Once again, I'd really appreciate a rating and review because you could be changing someone's life by sharing this. So please share anyone you think that this would benefit. And I appreciate you for being here. Once again, you're improving other people's lives by being the best you. And remember, you're in control of your own self-esteem and confidence.